I found the love of my life, a lifelong career as well, and some good friends. So, you know, what more could any place give you?
Hello and welcome to Happy Ever Hull, a new podcast from the University of Hull where we'll be exploring the romantic side of campus with alumni who met their life partners while studying here. First up, we'll be hearing from Keith and Liz.
I'm Liz Wilson. I studied classical studies at Hull in 1981.
Hi, and I'm Keith Balcombe, and I studied psychology in Hull at the same time.
What made you both choose the University of Hull?
For me, it's because it was a long way from my family. And
where are you from originally?
From London, and I had applied to Canterbury, but they threatened to visit me every weekend, so I thought Hull sounded like a better bet. They were quite old-fashioned, and I wanted some freedom.
I was also keen to move away from my family. I come from London as well. But another draw from Hull is I thought it was on the coast. My geography of the UK was not great. And I had done some sailing. And I thought, great, a port, I'll be able to sail, not realising that it was quite so industrial and quite a long way from any sailing. So that's how I ended up here.
And how did you both meet at Hull?
Well, I signed up to do Nightline in Freshers Week and went along to work with Nightline. I don't know if it's still going on. It was a student peer counselling service that ran from 8 till 8, I think, every night. Anyway, and that's where we met. We didn't meet. Well, we must have met on the training, but we don't remember each other from the training. We properly met when we were working together, probably the best part of 12 months later.
Yeah.
So in 1982.
On the 2nd of November.
Keith kept a diary.
Yeah. The 2nd of November, there's an entry in my diary that says Nightline with Liz Wilson, talked all night.
It probably took 7 or 8 months before we went from meeting each other to being in a relationship. But once we were in a relationship, I was about to move out of halls with 3 friends. And I'd planned to stay in the student house for some of the summer, and they were all going off to their various homes. And by the time they came back, I'm afraid to say Keith had moved in. Without any consultation. There was an Italian restaurant that we used to go to by the side of Pearson Park.
Called Pierluigi's.
Yeah.
Which is not there. I mean, there's a restaurant there, but it isn't the same anymore. But and you know, we walked to Beverley.
Yeah,
along the river.
And we walked around the docks quite a lot.
Yeah.
I can't for the life of me remember why. They weren't at all pretty like they are now.
Have you been able to visit the university since you got back together?
Yeah. We did.
You were living there when we got
I was
back
living
together.
there when we got back together. So I kept the house on in Hull for a while until we moved to West Yorkshire. So we used to go fairly regularly. I think one of the first things we went to was Hull Fair. There are some early pictures of us at Hull Fair on the merry-go-round with the horses.
And we had a stroll around the university, which was quite different to how I'd remembered it.
Yeah.
Obviously, you'd lived there through it growing and changing, but it was quite different.
Yeah. And we go back. We have friends, mutual friends that we visit. We go back. We try to go back for the Freedom Festival every year as well and spend a weekend.
So what are some of the things you do now that are kind of similar to when you were at university?
I think just kind of some of the ordinary stuff is the most special. So cooking together and having friends around, I think, is probably one of our greatest pleasures. And it's not a big thing. I mean, we do enjoy going out to see music. I have to say, don't think we went out very much. Our relationship was perhaps
It's more of an indoor one.
Yes. But yeah, just the kind of the ordinariness, the homeliness, and I think that was a big sense for me of getting back together, of kind of finally finding home. About it not being a place, but it being a person.
What does the university and what does Hull mean to you now?
I'm very fond of Hull. I found the love of my life, a lifelong career as well, and some good friends. So, what more could any place give you? I still love visiting. I think it's fun. Hull is fun. I was there. My last year living in Hull really was the City of Culture year, and talk about the city being, showing off at its absolute best. I can remember the first night, the launch week, with the projected images on all the public buildings, standing in front of the Town Docks Museum, watching huge projected images, with thousands of people standing behind me, with tears streaming down my face, because I was just so proud to be there. So I think, there's still an element of that Hull was a kind of critical part of both our lives, really.
And just to sum up, is there any song that you think well encapsulates your relationship and your time at Hull?
Yeah. Willow by Joan Armatrading.
It was kind of our song, really. I think most have a song, and that was ours.
Yeah.
Next up are Claire and Rory.
So my name's Claire, and I'm now Claire Sherwood Parkin. I was Claire Sherwood when we met, and I went to Hull because I wanted to study law with French, and not that many universities do that, really. It's quite a small number of universities at the time that did that particular course, Hull being one of them. And when I went to look round, I loved the campus feel to it. I'd also looked at Sheffield, which sort of had a much more kind of spread out look and feel to it, whereas I thought, Hull, it was just all in one place. I loved the campus area, really kind of engaged with the tutors that I met when I went on the open day, and so that was my first choice. That's where I applied and wanted to go.
Similar, I suppose, as to why I chose Hull. I'm from London originally. I looked at a few different universities, but my grandma lived in Hessel, just outside Hull. I just always really liked the place, and the university, as Claire said, had such a lovely feel to it. So kind of fell in love with the university. I chose to do politics because it had such a good reputation at Hull, and the fact that you could work for an MP as well as part of a placement year. So I ended up doing that and working in Westminster for a year, the same year that I was in France, which was really good fun. But there's always something about Hull, I think, just the people, the campus type feel that Claire said, and the nightlife, and the fact that you could walk. We lived down Newland Avenue. You could walk down Newland Avenue, go to the Piper, and then go into town. And it was just, such a nice place. And we do go back quite regularly.
We love it, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
I think only people that have been there really get it. Like, if you say to people, "Oh, yeah, we're going to Hull for the weekend," they're like, all right, okay, that's weird, but we absolutely love it, and we've just been back a couple of weeks ago with it because it's 20 years since we went and since we joined. So we went back with a group of friends that we lived with, because we lived at the Lawns at the time, and so we went back and revisited all our old haunts, and it was amazing. It was so good to be back.
It was really good going back to the Mission pub where we went. I used to go all the time.
Felt about 100.
We did, the oldest people in there by quite some distance, I think.
But it was amazing to see. What we really loved seeing, we met all our friends in Planet Coffee on Newland Avenue, and we just thought it was so amazing that, in these days when lots of the big chains have come in and taken over, Costa and Starbucks and stuff, and like Newland Avenue in that immediate area around the university is still just so full of all the independent shops and restaurants and bars, and I think that's what makes Hull's such a unique, great place. Actually, I think that's one of the things that just makes it so special.
I totally agree. Got its own unique identity with different colour phone boxes, and just it's kind of like an island by itself, Hull, isn't it? It's just so unique and so different. So. I remember the first day that I met Claire, which was the first day we moved into the Lawns, actually, because it was her birthday. And so she had a birthday cake for 19th birthday.
Yeah, would be 19.
19. But she doesn't remember me from that day. But I remember her and thinking how lovely she was. And then it took about a year until we got together the following November. Yeah, November 2002 kind of thing. Seems like a long time ago now. Yeah.
Do you feel the university has changed a lot since you were there as students?
Yeah, I mean, the structure of it hadn't particularly changed, had it, when we were there a couple of weeks ago. So we went in the library building, just, to the sort of entrance bit, and that had changed a lot. I couldn't even recognise the building at all, like the inside of it. That looked so modern in comparison. And the same, like the Union looked different inside, but was essentially the same. But no, I mean, certainly in terms of like where, we could navigate our way around really easily, that hadn't changed at all, to be honest. It just seemed a lot quieter, I guess, after everything that's happened. There's not as many students on campus, so it definitely seemed quite quiet.
It did.
But also it was in the morning, so maybe everybody was just in bed.
Exactly. It could be a bit early for people. But definitely the Wilberforce building looked exactly the same as I remembered it, with the steps that you walked up and the bit across to the Union. That all felt very familiar, and you still got that same really nice sense when we got there, as to that really nice feel.
A nice place.
Yeah, definitely.
We hold it really dear. Like we've taken, not this time, but previously we've taken our kids there. We have 2 children, and took them, like, this is where Mummy and Daddy met. And I mean, they were not bothered. Literally not bothered. Can we go now? This is boring.
They like going to
they like the deep. They love that.
Yeah.
What does Hull and the university mean to you now?
Oh, good question. I think it's always have such special memories of having met so many friends there, having got together there. We said this the other day, I think, when we went back a couple of weekends ago, when it was 20 years since we all went, just if we'd never chosen to go to Hull.
Yeah, that's scary.
We'd never been together. Isn't it?
Really scary. Or even if we'd been in a different hall of residence, we might never have met.
We never would. And I think it kind of shapes who you are, where you go to university, and the things that you study, and the relationships that you form, and how you find out about yourself as well. All that kind of shapes who you are, what you end up doing, and the kind of person that you are. So if I think back to the kind of person I was when I first went to university, I was really shy and really nervous, and I think I've
definitely
got over that since, and university's helped me to do that, as well as having an amazing marriage and kids and everything, which I never would have had if I hadn't gone to Hull. So,
what is one song that you think can sum up your relationship and your time at Hull?
We were talking about song, and the one that we got together, we had our first kiss in the Union. That was Tiffany, I Think We're Alone Now. And maybe another one would be The Cure, Friday I'm in Love.
Yeah, we used to play that all the time.
Yeah. Or that one, Iris. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, the Goo Goo Dolls, Iris.
That.
Yeah.
When I hear that, like, I stop and I think.
Yeah, they used to play that in the Piper, Newland Avenue.
You've been listening to Happy Ever Hull, celebrating our alumni community and their experiences at the University of Hull and beyond. If you want to keep in touch with us and be part of the University of Hull alumni community, drop us an email on alumni@hull.ac.uk or follow us on Facebook and Twitter @HullAlumni.